InfoVet is a web-hosted software program. It's designed to consolidate dairy herd health and production data from a number of sources. The program was developed with Massey University. It's now run primarily by animal health company Pfizer. Franklin vet Dave Hawkins uses the system at the Reeves Dairy Farm in South Auckland.
It saves us going on to, we might go into Fonterra's fence post and have a look at data there, and we might go into LIC's Minder and have a look at data there. We might be trying to get data out of the Ambreed CRV system. At the same time, we might be going into our practice software to try and get information out of there. And what InfoVet does is it pulls it all together and puts it in one place for us. 633, yep. We see it as primarily a veterinary package, enables us to pull the information together. But then it's also a farmer package, because the main value that comes out of it is when we're on farm trying to analyse data to help us see where things like reproduction and things like mastitis are going on the farm. So although it's a veterinary tool, it delivers a lot of value to the farmer.
We're going to call pretty close to 6.
We've been running it for about 2 years now. We are starting to see what we consider to be tangible benefits of running the program. We're saving the guys time. They don't have to enter that data into Minder, and we don't have to wait for Minder to synchronise before we can have a look at that. So that's the first part of it. Once we've got that data in there, we can print out fertility focus reports, which are part of the in-calf project, which most people, I think, in the dairy industry certainly will have heard of. The in-calf project is trying to drive us towards better reproductive performance. And one of the key tools in doing that is the fertility focus report, which gives us a handle on where they are now. We can come back and have a look at that, and we'll do that probably today with this farm as well, and see where they've gone over the last 2 years in their reproductive performance. On farm, there's a lot of things floating around that can damage computers. Cow muck, rain, dust, and all that sort of stuff. So bringing out your average computer on farm, it's not going to cope with it. And so that's why we need to use these sorts of things when we're data entry on farm.
Okay, we've got a good 4.5, just under a 5, probably just under a 5.
The information that comes through when we look at the cow, that's come from a combination of Minder and InfoVet. So we've had the pregnancy testing data on this farm has gone through the InfoVet system, and the mating data, when the AI technicians have come round, has gone through the Minder system. So those two things are then married together, and we can see that information in one place.
We're getting pretty good, pretty close to a 5.
She'll put in the cow number. Okay, and the first thing that shows up is we've got cow number 200 is actually in the herd. We don't have any issues with entering the wrong number today, or we don't have any issues with that cow not being synchronised or having left the herd, or there being other errors associated with it. So we know that straight away. We can enter her body condition through here. I'm not going to do that because she's not in front of me right now. And it also tells us when she was last mated. Now in this case, this cow's only had one AI mating at this point, so we just put the pointer on there and we can see it flag up AI, and she's been confirmed pregnant at a previous pregnancy testing date. And then from that information we can select, with what we're seeing on the screen, we can select the most likely mating date that fits with what we're seeing on the screen. So it gives Todd a much better understanding as to when those cows are going to calve.
We've been using InfoVet for about 2 seasons now, and one of the good things is when we're pregnancy testing our cows, we put it straight into the computer, and we find out if we've made a mistake right then and there. We know that we can sort it out. Like if we've typed in a wrong cow number, we can see straight then that we've done something wrong.
Okay, we've got cow 578. She's pretty close to a 6.
Another good thing is when we pregnancy test them, we also can see the date that they're going to be calving on, and we can decide when we're going to dry the cows off and get them into enough condition score to get them back into calf again for the following seasons.
One of the key things we've done now is pulling that off with those body condition scores. We're getting a pretty good range of scores there. One of the concerns is that they've generated this data, we've put it in for them, and so they want to make sure that no one is sort of accessing that. Now, this data is owned by the farm, but it resides within a database that's owned by somebody else, Pfizer Limited. But the farmer has rights to that information, and that information is only able to be used by the veterinary clinic with the farmer's authorisation, and by any other party for national benchmarking with the authorisation of the farmer and the veterinarian involved. So in terms of security of information, the safeguards are there to make sure that that information is used appropriately.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.